You know, when you're really getting into a language, what's the ultimate goal? It's about telling stories, right? Being able to share your memories and connect the dots of your past. For anyone learning Japanese, that often comes down to one big question. How do you say when something happened? Well, today, we're going to unlock the single most important key to doing just that.
So, think about it. You have a memory in your head, a specific moment in time. How do you grab that moment and build a story around it in Japanese? How do you connect the thing that happened first with what came next?
Believe it or not, the answer is incredibly simple and elegant. It all comes down to a single word, TOKI, which we say as TOKI. This little word is basically the master key for talking about the past. It gives you a super consistent way to link actions, descriptions, and even who you used to be. Okay, so let's start with the big one, the way you'll use this most often, talking about actions. This is for when one thing you did sets the stage for something else that happened. There's a specific pattern for this, and it's really the foundation for everything else we'll cover.
And the rule itself? It's actually super straightforward. You just take the verb for that first action, put it into its past tense, that's called the ta form in Japanese, and then you stick toki or toki right after it. That's it. That little combo creates the whole phrase, when I did something.
Let's look at an example to see how it works. This sentence builds a really clear timeline. The first part, watashi wa eki ni tsuita toki, sets the exact moment. The verb tsuita is the past tense for to arrive. So, right at the moment of arrival, the second thing happens. Ame ga furimashita. It rained. See how toki is the bridge connecting those two events? Here's another really normal, everyday example that uses the exact same pattern. The specific time frame is set by haha wa supa ni itta toki. Itta is the past tense of to go. So the time we're talking about is when my mother went to the supermarket. And what happened then? Gyunyu o kaimashita. She bought milk. It's logical, it's consistent, and it's clear.
All right, so doing things is one thing, but sometimes the when isn't an action. It's more about setting the scene. You know, like when the weather was good, or when I was busy. This is where adjectives come in, and luckily, Tokiwiki handles them perfectly.
In this sentence, you can see the context comes from a state of being, not an action. Tenki ga yokatta toki just means when the weather was good. Yokatta is the past tense of the adjective I, which means good. So that good weather created the perfect opportunity for the action that came next. Watashi tachi wa umi e ikimashita. We went to the sea. The good weather was the when.
Now, if you know a bit of Japanese grammar, you know there are two main types of adjectives, and this structure works for both. For what we call I adjectives, like the one we just saw, you change the I at the end to kata to make it past tense before you add toki. For the other kind, na adjectives, it's even easier. You just add dot dot right after the adjective.
And here's that na adjective rule in action. The adjective here is hima, which means free or not busy. The phrase watashi ga hima datta toki, using datta, means, you guessed it, when I was free. That state of being free is the anchor in time for what I did next, watching a movie with a friend. Okay, this final use is really cool. This is where toki goes from just being a simple time marker to a way to talk about entire periods of your life. We're moving beyond actions and conditions to talk about our identity, framing those eras by who we were, like when you were a student or a child. Now, the rule for this should look pretty familiar because it's the exact same pattern we just saw for not adjectives. You just take the noun that defines who you were, add datta, and finish with toki. This simple formula lets you talk about any past role or stage of life so easily.
And right here you can really see the storytelling power. Watashi ga gakusei datta toki means when I was a student. This isn't just about a quick moment. This carves out a whole chapter of your life. And during that whole time, the other thing was true. You were living in Tokyo.
This last example just feels like a memory, doesn't it? Chichi ga kodomo datta toki means when my father was a child. The noun kodomo, or child, defines that whole era of his life, and that time period is the backdrop for the specific memory of playing in this river. It's just a beautiful way to connect a person, a time, and a place. So, these three uses, for verbs, for adjectives, and for nouns, they make up a complete, powerful toolkit. With just a few simple patterns that you can use over and over, you now have the ability to really tell stories about the past in Japanese. Let's just do a quick final review. This summary table has everything you need. For verbs, use the ta form. For adjectives, you use the katta ending. And for both na adjectives and nouns, you just add dot da.
That's it. Whether you're talking about something you did, how something was, or who you were, one of these patterns is going to be your ticket. This is how you unlock your own stories.
So, we've gone over the grammar, we've seen the structure. The tool for connecting the events of your own life in Japanese is now in your hands. So the only real question left is, what memory are you going to share first?